Howdy and welcome to the Confidence Through Health podcast. I'm Jerry Snyder. As an elite level athlete, owner of All In Health and Wellness, and author of the book Confidence Through Health, my goal is to help you achieve your goals and dreams using health as the conduit to get there. So I want to take a second to thank our sponsor for this episode, American Sports and Fitness Association. They are the place to go for your personal trainer and fitness certifications. They have a wide range of certifications, everything from personal trainer to golf fitness instructor to water aerobics to nutrition and sports nutrition. If you've been thinking about going into sports and fitness instructor arena, I highly suggest you check out the American Sports and Fitness Association. There's a link on my website, confidencethroughhealth.com. You can go there to look at other episodes of the website, but also check out their information. It'll link to their website, and you can check out more information about how to get certified as a sports and fitness instructor. Howdy, and welcome back to the Confidence Through Health podcast. My name is Jerry Snyder, and today what I want to talk to you about is actually a question that I got from one of the nutrition clients that I coach. She asked me that through their plan that she and her husband are actually on, she asked me, they're on week 6, I believe it was, when she asked me this question. And she said, can we get a little protein in our meals next week? Something like steak or shrimp. And the odd thing is that she and he are getting protein in their meals, because part of what I put in the meals is protein. It's just not necessarily in meat form. But so there's a disconnect there. But the other disconnect is that you have to have protein in every meal. That's something that most Americans believe, unfortunately. And we've been sold a bill of goods, basically, on the fact that we are supposed to have protein from meat at every meal. And I've talked about this a little bit before, in the fact that our food system is messed up because we're built on this system that was created to make Americans bigger and stronger than, like, physically, actually bigger and stronger than anybody else in the world. And so part of that system is overeating protein. And because, yes, if you eat protein and you're exercising, doing strength building, muscle building exercises, and you eat protein, you will get bigger muscles, you will get stronger. Those things will happen. If you're not exercising that much, if your exercise consists of more of an endurance type, more of a strength and flexibility type, you're not necessarily going to need that much protein. And that much protein, especially if you're not exercising at all, is going to damage your systems internally, your digestive system, your endocrine system. So we're talking about your gut, we're talking about your liver, we're talking about your kidneys. All these things can be damaged by overeating protein. And most Americans overeat protein and overeat it from the wrong sources as well. And so now we're double dipping into the wrong area of our nutrition. So for somebody like this couple who are in their 70s, they are wanting to get healthier. They're wanting to get off of chronic medication. They're wanting to lose a little weight. They're wanting to get more active because of grandkids. So it pretty much fits with the normal American, the normal aging American. Wants to do all these things, but has these improper notions of what they should be doing, because the government the recommendations from organizations that are not necessarily government organizations, but are trying at one point to help. Those recommendations are now been shown to be inadequate, have shown to be actually more damaging than helpful for some situations. Again, those situations being when you're not exercising at a high level in strength building exercises. And so if your exercise consists of walking around the block or jogging around the block, 30 minutes at a time, just basic cardiovascular exercise. If that's what you're doing, you don't need as much protein as someone who is trying to build a lot of muscle, bodybuilding, strength building, lifting weights. Those people do need more protein if their goal is to bulk up their muscles. So, where can you get protein? Almost anywhere. And that's the other misnomer that this couple had, was that I have to eat steak to get protein. I have to get it from a meat source. And that's just not true. You can get protein from many different plants, and actually it's cleaner. It can be better for you from those sources, and your body can function better with it from those sources because it doesn't have. You're not going to get an overabundance of it, because the protein in, say, chickpeas, lentils, oatmeal, in those items is not as dense. It's the level of protein in those proportion is not as high. So again, somebody says, oh, but I need more protein. Well, but if your body can only consume and operate so much and can only filter through so much, then what happens is you start having kidney problems, you start having liver problems, gallbladder problems, all these organs that are meant for helping you filter out the bad things, helping you filter out the things that shouldn't be in your body. They're all getting clogged up because you've got too much protein. And so your body can consume some of it, and then the rest of it's got to go somewhere. And so it goes into the waste system and gets filtered through and starts causing problems. And so it starts building up and causing gallstones, kidney stones, different things like that can be caused from eating too much protein. So I caution you on how much protein you're getting, and not to rely on, a balanced diet is not necessarily 25% fiber, 25% fat, 25% carbohydrates, 25% protein. That's not a balanced diet. It's balanced logically in a mathematical sense, but you need more carbs than you do protein. The average person does. You need, a different level of fat. You need different levels of fiber. You need more fiber probably than anything, because it's going to help push things through your system, especially if you're overweight, especially if you're dealing with any kind of chronic disease and you're dealing with constipation. If you're dealing with those three things, you absolutely need more fiber in your diet, and you need to have a lot more fiber than the other three big macronutrients. So it's not about a balanced diet is not about balancing on the equation. It's about understanding what you need in order to accomplish your goals. Somebody who's bodybuilding, like I said, is going to eat more protein than somebody who is just doing basic exercise, walking around the block. Somebody who is lifting weights as an athlete and attempting to get stronger, as a American football player, offensive lineman, defensive lineman, somebody like that, they're going to eat a lot of protein. And unfortunately, what they're going to do is they're going to be marketed by any number of different companies. And they're going to say, hey, can you come sell our product? And they're going to sell it and say, hey, you need this protein shake, or you need this, you need chocolate milk, or you need this meat product, because it's going to give you the protein to look like meat. well, do you really want to look like them is question number one. And if you don't, because if you don't want to put the time and effort in of 5 to 6 to 7 hours in the gym lifting weights, then you don't need that much protein. It's just going to become problematic for the systems in your body. So all that to say, most Americans get far too much protein in their diet. So if you're worried about protein, you can stop because you're getting probably way more than you need. So stop looking for the protein fix, if you will, and try and get protein from different sources. Try and get protein from vegetables, from plants, because there is protein available there. There's plenty of protein available there for you to live and get the muscles that you need, to get the body that you need to be able to live a long life that's a healthy life. I'm not saying you have to be vegan, you have to be vegetarian, but having meat at every meal is what's causing a lot of the issues that we see creeping up in our elderly population, because that's when this eating meat became part of like the mass diet plan, was in the 70s and 80s. And now all those people that were adults, early adults then, are elderly now, and we're seeing dementia, we're seeing issues that are creeping up because they were eating way too much protein, and not necessarily way too much protein, but also the what was with that protein. So those meat sources, what was with those meat sources that are now causing a problem because there was so much in your system that it's now causing other chronic issues that shouldn't be there. Those issues should not be there, because our body was built to not have these chronic issues show up. Our body was built to be able to sustain without these chronic issues showing up. But the way that the average American feeds the body creates these chronic issues. So if you change the way you're eating to lean more on plants and vegetables and fruit, and lean away from dairy, meat sources, especially like if it's farmed, meaning it's not free range, it's not, the local rancher that's got his cattle off in the field and is only butchering a few of those cattle every year, and he's not pumping them up with steroids or antibiotics or anything like that. Like, those places are going to be the better places to get your meat sources. So you want to be very careful where you're getting your meat, because of those issues. What's going into the meat when it's mass farmed. So again, just so being careful about your protein sources and being careful about how much you eat as far as protein, and it can change the way your body works in a better way if you're overeating protein right now, because it's clogging up your system, because your body has to deal with stuff that it doesn't need and doesn't want. And you need to be able to fix that. So cutting back and filling that space, especially if you're overweight, filling that space with fiber, cutting back on the protein, filling it up with fiber, and making sure that you're not trying to balance it just on 25% of each one of those 4 macronutrients. And again, I'm not a big pusher of or believer in that, it's all about the macronutrient. It's about the micronutrients that you're getting through these macro sources. But to just look at it from a plain high level and say 25% of each is not a balanced diet for anybody. And so what you need to do is look at what you want to accomplish, what your goals are for your body, and then look at, okay, well, I need this much protein, I need this much carbohydrates, I need this much fat, I need this much fiber. And if you're overweight, a big key is going to be you need more fiber. And where are you getting more fiber? You get more fiber from plants, so your fruits and your vegetables, right? And so when you hear somebody like a doctor or a nutritionist who knows what they're talking about and says, well, you're overweight. You need to eat more plants. And you're going to say, well, I eat, I eat meat. I eat, French fries, or, no, it's getting your vegetables, getting a wide variety of them. I think I've said this before. You want to work yourself up to getting 30 to 40 different varieties of vegetables a week, or plants a week. So vegetables and fruit. And you can put legumes in there, nuts in there. You want to get 30 to 40. And so that's how you're going to get all the nutrients that you need, because you're getting a wide range of things. And you're not just living on, broccoli and rice and almonds. Great things, just not great to be the only 3 things you're eating along with your steak or your chicken, or your fish or your seafood. So making sure that you're having that variety, making sure that you're understanding how the protein is working in your body, and that you don't need as much as been marketed to you, unless you have those goals of being stronger, bigger, muscular. If those are your goals, by all means, you need to put yourself in a different category. But the average American is not looking at those goals. The average American is not looking at, gaining massive amounts of muscle mass. And so what's happening is, because you're not gaining muscle through the exercise that you're doing, you're not spending 5 hours in the gym, you're eating all that protein. That protein's got to go somewhere, because it's going to make things bigger. And so what it's doing is it's making your body bigger, but it's showing up as fat because there's no muscle being exercised and built. So it's just going to stored, and it's making you bigger. It's creating more mass. It's just not muscle mass like most people want when they eat more protein than they need on a daily basis. So that's just a little tidbit on how protein works, or how protein should be looked at in your diet. Not necessarily how it works. I didn't go into all that part of it, but maybe I'll do that on an episode coming up, is breaking down how protein actually works in your body and why you don't need as much as is being marketed to you by the people that are selling protein. So it's well within their rights to market it to you. It's well within their rights to be able to do that, but they're selling you a bill of goods, thinking that you need as much as they're telling you need. So cut back on your protein, get it from different sources throughout the day, throughout the week, and increase your vegetables, increase your fruit, increase your nuts. All those plant-based things are going to help you become healthier inside and out. Thanks for checking out the All in Health and Wellness Confidence Through Health podcast. Our goal is to use health as a conduit to help you reach your goals in life.
A little lighter than me. I'm about to black out. Her grip is getting tighter on me. I think I like it deep inside. I feel the fire in me. She like the milky, see me creaming to the coffee to me. She got soul in her sway.